Hello, Instagram. Hello. Hello, hello. Hi. It's good to be here with you guys. Happy Monday. Happy or Tuesday. If you're on the other side of the planet, I love you too. Dancing Wind, Dancing River. Hi, Majama 20. Hi, RV Benny. What's up? Hi, Buckley Boland. Hi, Sunny. Hi, Yoga Joe Guy. Lacey Tomboy. It's good to see you. Got a lot of energy moving through my body. Hi, DC. Hey, Seth. Yes, let's do the podcast. I'm ready. How are you, my friend? It's good to see you. It is good to see you. If you guys aren't following Dr. Seth Gerlach, go follow that man. He's incredible. He's hilarious. He's a good one. I guess we're all good ones. Are there any bad ones? Not in the eyes of God. Yeah, I miss you. Let's do the podcast. I'm ready. Is it a new moon today? Hi, Katie. It's good to see you. Hi, Evolving and Free. Hi, Rachel from PA. Moving through it. You're always moving through it. Heavy energy today. Okay, I wanted to jump on because where do I start? I feel like I am a repetitive record player, always talking about the same thing, but I feel like I need it over and over again. And hi, Luke. It's so good to see you here. If you guys are not following Luke Mind Power, go follow that man. He is incredible, and he's doing incredible work. Incredible work. Luke Mind Power, go follow him if you're not already following that incredible man as well. Okay, you guys, so I just need to talk about a reminder, a remembrance of what we're going through here, which is an evolution in consciousness. And what does that mean? So I always talk about this, and there are moments where it just feels so intense on an energetic level that this defies all logic, what we're in. It defies reasoning. It defies the mind. It defies labels. It goes beyond just a simple trying to comprehend how to navigate this. Like, what tools do I have? What books can I read? Who can I listen to? Like Luke, who's incredible, right? Sometimes this evolution takes over, and there has to be a deeper dropping into the humble OMG of what's truly going on here. And this requires us to remember that we the human that we think we are, we're not in control. And the more that we can juggle, okay, the awareness that there is something energetically happening, alchemically in a way, in your body and in your awareness, while simultaneously we are navigating our own internal world. So we need tools. We need to understand trauma or programming. We need to understand the judgments that we hold. We need to understand limiting beliefs. We need to understand the thoughts that we're choosing, the mentalities that we're holding around our, the way we see the world. But we also have to remember that we are in an energetic evolution that is so humbling, because it is feeling. It's a feeling state over and over and over again. And this feeling state cannot be controlled. So what that means is that we have to be pummeled over and over and over again. The ego has to be literally picked up and almost like, like those wrestlers, WWE wrestlers, they like body slammed onto the ground. The ego needs to be body slammed over and over and over again. You are not in control, ego. You are not in control. What that means is that whatever it is that I am feeling needs to be felt. Whatever thoughts that are moving through my brain and my mind need to just simply move. And the more that, and the behaviors that I am doing, first and foremost, just need to be seen. This is the evolution. This is the awakening process. This is the awakening journey. It is the lights turning on. And the more that the lights turn on, the more you are going to see and the less you are going to control. And this is what we are all being pummeled into. Wow. And this is the state of suffering. Suffering stems from not wanting to be in what you're in, which is the biggest cosmic joke in this quantum field, is that we are fighting, you and I are fighting against perhaps what we are simply in and what we are remembering or learning how to first and foremost just be in. Before you try to change yourself or fix yourself or get out of an emotion, change a limiting belief or thought, first and foremost, can you find yourself in a state of allowing it first? If you can't allow first before you pop out and try to change or fix or get out of, you will continue to find yourself in the looping of the programmed state of mind. The mind is going to continue to tell you that you're not safe. The ego is going to continue to tell you, the personality is going to continue to tell you that you're not safe and you need to get out of what you're in. There is nothing further from the truth. The process of evolution is going to show you this. We are evolving into, consciousness is evolving into, which is just states of being. So the awareness that you are is moving into the ability to be in new states of awareness, new states of consciousness, new ways of being on the planet. And in order to be in new ways, be in new states, be in new awarenesses, as the human, which is not you, but you're still playing the role, you have to stop fighting against what you're in. You have to stop fighting against the idea that life has you, that emotions have you, that thoughts have you. What I mean by have you is that thoughts control you, emotions control you, behaviors control you. Think about this for a moment. Like really sit with this for like a second before you move on with your thoughts. The only reason that you and I are uncomfortable, the only reason that you and I find ourselves in states of victimhood, the only reason that you and I find ourselves in states of suffering and wanting to get out of something is because we have a belief that our thoughts are controlling us. And so you have to change your thoughts. We have a belief that our emotions control us. So we have to change our emotions. Now, this isn't to say that we don't want to choose different thoughts, okay? Because you do want to be aware of the lens you're using to create your reality, because thought creates your reality. The way you are being in your beingness creates your reality, okay? So it's a catch-22 on one level, because in this quantum energetic world, your vibration creates your reality. Well, what creates your vibration? Your thoughts and your emotions. Okay, but they're not actually you. And when you can find this is the catch. When you can finally let go of the idea that your thoughts are dictating who you are and your emotions are dictating who you are. That your emotions are controlling you and your thoughts are controlling you. And you let all of that go and you just let thought be. You let it be the stream it is. You let emotion just be. You let emotion start moving through you. You step into this amazing space of, holy shit, I'm free. I'm free. There's this place that you can get to when you let go, when you stop gripping thought, when you stop gripping emotion, when you stop gripping behavior. Hey, David, my friend, I love you. You stop gripping and you start to sit back and observe and allow and watch. Before you start trying to change the thoughts or create some vibration out of your body, right? You just allow. You start sitting back in this hammock, watching yourself in life, in this game, this video game. And you start to chuckle. You start kind of laughing almost because you're like, holy shit. Even right here, right now with all of us, wherever we are, whatever you're going through, in this moment right here, right now, if you drop into it, quieting the thoughts or letting the thoughts just be, let your emotions just move through. What's moving through your emotion? What actions are you taking? Can you slow that down for a moment? You can just find stillness. And many of you are going to argue against this, and you're going to go and get busy, and you're going to think about your thoughts, and you're going to argue for your limitations. You're going to argue for the fact that you're unhappy, that you're miserable right now, that you're depressed right now, that you're sad right now. And I would argue the opposite. I would argue if you just sat for a second, if you dropped into your body and said, this is an energetic experience, I'm in an energetic world right now, I'm going through a massive evolutionary shift in consciousness, I'm not who I think I am, I'm not actually Lori, I'm not, Random Boy 2023, I'm not Dom Canna, I'm not that, I'm an awareness inside a physical body that's having this experience. As quantum and as out of the, as mind-blowing as that can possibly be for you, it's true. And as many moments as you can pull that awareness in. Hold on a second. Let me just drop in this moment. This is what's happening to you, whether you want to agree with me or believe me or not. This is the evolution. You will be pummeled into stillness over and over and over again. You will be pummeled out of thought and emotion controlling you by allowing and watching the thoughts get louder and watching your emotions get louder. Your body's going to get exhausted, right? You're going to find yourself with this inner gaze over and over and over. This is not something you can control. This is the evolution in human consciousness. This is happening on the entire planet to 7 billion humans right now, whether they are aware and conscious of it or not. And for those of us that are awake and conscious to it, it can feel like a mind fuck, like you're bipolar, like you're going crazy, like you don't fit in, you're all alone, they're the lone wolf, you're trying to find community, you're trying to fit in, you're trying to keep life in this homeostasis type of flatline type of thing, and it's not going to work. One of the most courageous things about being a consciousness in a physical body right now, having this human experience, is that we understood what we were dropping into. And when you actually start moving through on a conscious level, this evolution in this consciousness, stay with me, you don't have control. You just don't. The more you can let go of controlling, the easier this is going to be. This is like you putting water, okay, in a pot and starting to boil it. Naturally, what's going to happen? The water is going to boil. Naturally, when you start awakening and you start recognizing that not only are you awakening into who you have always been, which is God consciousness, but you are actually going through a physical evolution in consciousness in a body, you can't stop it. You can't stop the water from boiling. You can't. You can do everything you can. You can positive think that water to not boil. You can try to manipulate that water from not boiling. imagining that you can't actually just pull the pot off, because you really can't. When you start awakening, when you start realizing you're moving through an evolution, you can't stop it. You let go. You let nature take its course. You let the natural process of evolution happen. The natural process of evolution that you're going through and I'm going through is going to first be an inward journey. It just is. You're going to start going inward more and more. Your thoughts are going to get louder. Your emotions are going to get more intense, or you're going to be feeling more than you ever have. You're going to start experiencing gifts or abilities that you never had before, except that you've always had them. You're going to start walking around in the world, interacting with people, and you're not going to be able to necessarily see through the same lens as them any longer. These things are just naturally happening. You tell me if you're in control of it. Did you wake up one day and say, I'd like my thoughts to get louder? I'd like to no longer be able to resonate with certain people in my life. I'd love to be able to feel more than I've ever felt before. Did you choose these things? Or are they just naturally happening? It's just naturally happening. Pay attention to the labels that you are using to describe your experiences right now. It's not true. You don't understand what you're going through. You don't. This is a deep, deep cellular remembrance of evolution in consciousness that you're participating in as consciousness. This is a cellular memory. You're not accidentally in the human body. You're not accidentally walking through something that you know is miraculous and also very messed up, and you're not exactly sure how you're doing it. You don't know how you're going to get through it. You know something's going on, but there's not a lot of people around you that are going through it. But something's happening here, and there's a part of you that sort of knows it's supposed to happen, but then there's a part of you that has no idea what's happening. And so you're trying to look back at the old ways that people have navigated this, and those things don't work anymore. The ways in which we have navigated our lives will not work anymore. So you are finding yourselves naked in the wind, in the desert, saying, how in the heck do I get through this? This is like nothing I've ever experienced before, because it is the evolution in human consciousness, and we've never actually been in the physical, vibrational state that we're in right now. This isn't just about enlightenment. In fact, this has nothing to do with enlightenment. Because whether you become enlightened or not, your body is still going to move through an evolution in consciousness, which means that it's going to hold higher and higher frequencies. It's going to shift frequency. Your body is shifting frequency. Whether you are in the God state, whether you're meditating all day, whether you're a vegan or a carnivore, whether you live in a beautiful place or live in a squared in apartment complex, whether you are, healthy or sick, hate to tell y'all, none of that matters. Your body is shifting frequencies with or without your conscious, hand up. I want to, I'd like to participate in this process. Your body's doing it. It's going. So you have to remember what's going on here. You have to remember what you are physically navigating in the physical body. You have to remember that thoughts are going to get louder, emotions are going to get louder. You're going to be less and less in control. You're going to be asked to have more and more faith and trust in what you cannot see. You're going to have to let go over and over again of all the attachments that you have to your identity, to your labels, to who you thought you were. You're going to have to allow yourself and trust that you are capable of and safe to feel every single thing that moves through your body, because it is not you. You're going to have to recognize that there is no such thing as quieting the mind and quieting the thoughts. You're going to have to remember that anything that you're trying to control is only going to keep you in a state of handcuffed suffering over and over and over again. We are literally stepping into completely new ways of being on this planet. Don't listen to me. Just look what's happening in your own life. And we can we will still find ourselves figuring out how to navigate not having enough money, going through breakups or divorces, having children, figuring out where you're going to live, what's your work that you're here to do on the planet, how do you get motivation, how do you open your heart more to the world, how do you trust again, how do you, all of these things are going to be part of the human experience. But underneath all of that is an evolution in consciousness that is happening. And that trumps everything. Trumps everything. And the more that we can settle into for tiny little snippets throughout your day, the loss of a family member, the loss of a son, that's next level human experience. Getting sick, right? Having cancer. These are experiences in the human journey that will take over, and you will have to figure out how to navigate those human experiences. But even underneath that, there is an energetic experience that is happening. There is an evolution that is happening. Whatever is occurring in your life is taking you to new ways of being. Everything. Everything that you like and everything that you don't like. Everything that you want to experience and everything that you don't want to experience. That's why when you let go of the labels of this is a good thing for me to have in my life, this is a bad thing for me to have in my life. I should be doing this, I should be doing this. This shouldn't be happening, this should be happening. Let me tell you something. Let me tell your little ego something right now. You don't know anything. You don't. You as the ego personality, you don't know anything. You don't understand how this works. And it's beautiful and really cute that we as ego and personality try to figure this out. We try to understand it. We try to pull ourselves out of suffering. We try to pull ourselves out of the things that we don't like and that we're uncomfortable in. I can promise you, if you and I practice over and over and over again, trusting in something bigger than ourselves that is us, that there is something energetic happening whether I understand it or not, that maybe, just maybe, I am constantly being guided directly in front of me by this little light that is taking me into the most miraculous, beautiful moments that I'm going to be experiencing in this human journey, that it is impossible for me to not continue to step into more abundance, more joy, more flow, more peace, more heart, more openness, more trust. That is inevitable. That is part of this evolution. But if little Lori and little you with the ego and personality continue to try to control this as if uncomfortable stuff is not okay and comfortable stuff is, good is good, bad is bad. Things that I want to experience, I'm going to try to create more of. Things I don't want to experience, I'm going to try to get rid of. If we stop doing that and we trusted everything that was arising in our lives as the gift that it is, we will find ourselves experiencing heaven on earth quicker and quicker. It is the idea that the little you and I, the ego personality, knows how to do this, knows what's best for us, knows how to control this environment, knows how to create and manifest these things that are absolutely going to take me to the next level. If that shit quiets and stops and you start settling into and allowing and trusting and knowing that every single thing that is arising in my life, whether I like it, whether I understand it, and whether I want to be in it, is absolutely unequivocally bringing you into heaven on earth, because that's what's happening, you will allow and surrender into what's occurring in your life more. The way that you allow and surrender into it is that you trust something so deep within you, a knowingness and a remembrance so deep within you, because it's in you. There are no mistakes. You're not human by accident. You're not in this by accident, and nothing is happening to you by accident. Nothing is happening to you and a bad thing. Oh my God, this is a horrible thing. This should not be happening. That's not how the universe works. There is a divine order in all of this. There is a divine unraveling in all of this. And every single moment that you have ever experienced, that you're experiencing right now, and that you will continue to experience, this is a divine orchestration that your ego and personality will never understand. And the moment that we start allowing ourselves, surrendering into being in what is showing up, shining the light on it, having the courage to feel it, the courage to see it, the courage to stop trying to get out of the things that make us so uncomfortable. Stop being in denial. Stop pretending. Stop telling yourself stories of how it's supposed to be this way or supposed to be that way. You will start experiencing levels of freedom that you never knew were possible by doing it the opposite of how you have always done life. You let go of controlling. You make a home within yourself right now. You come back home to yourself in this inner world that you're in, and you stop trying to change and fix it. You let the lights turn on and get so bright. What else am I controlling? What else do I not want to be in? What else am I fighting against? What else am I resisting? Anything you're fighting against, anything you're resisting, anything you are ignoring, anything you're afraid of is the gift. I'm telling you guys, the fastest way through this is to simply allow whatever it is that you're in first. That's not that you don't get out of something that is unhealthy, or if you are in an abusive relationship, or, I'm not talking about, because people always go here like, well, what about the children that are being sex trafficked? How do you just allow that, right? That is a human collective consciousness problem that we will solve when we start going inward, opening our hearts, and no longer being programmed. Sex trafficking will stop. But that is an inward journey for every single human, first and foremost. For discernment, it's a whole other level of discussion that we're not going in. This is next level, you guys. This is not what, and so many of you are doing, you guys are doing such a good job. Nobody tells you what an amazing job you're doing. Nobody tells you how good you're doing. Nobody tells you that you're a freaking rock star. Nobody tells you, my God, you are so courageous. Every moment, every day when you wake up and you get out of bed, you are so courageous to keep going. You are so courageous to keep feeling what you're feeling. You're so courageous to keep seeing your limiting thoughts. You're so courageous to keep looking at the behaviors that you continue to do that you can't seem to get out of. You're so courageous to keep looking at the really bad relationships that you somehow keep finding yourself in. Bravo. Bravo. Keep looking. Keep showing up. Keep bringing awareness to it. Keep patting yourself on the back. Keep saying, damn, I'm amazing. And seeing that in other humans. Seeing that throughout your day. Everyone's trying to do the best that they can, going through this massive, holy shit, evolution in human consciousness that we don't have control over. That requires us to feel. Think of how much you're feeling that you don't want to feel. Bravo. You're incredible. You're beyond incredible. You are a freaking miracle in a human body trying to navigate the most insane, out of control time on the planet. You're doing it with with handcuffs behind your back. You're doing it with, blindly. And you're doing it. Nothing wrong with what you're in. Nothing wrong with what you're doing. Nothing wrong with what you're feeling. Nothing wrong with those crazy thoughts that are literally driving you crazy. Absolutely nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with how anybody else is showing up in this world, as difficult as that may be for us to swallow. We are all standing side by side together doing this. Whether we know each other or we don't know each other. We're all standing side by side. We're all looking around saying, do you know how to do this? I don't know how to do this. How much longer is this? I have no freaking idea. What is this that we're doing? I don't know. It's some sort of like awakening process. What do we like? How do I keep going and not freaking, break down? I don't know. Maybe we just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Do we have a choice? Not really. We just have to keep going. You got to keep going in this battlefield. What's around the corner? No idea. Does anyone know? No one knows. No psychic, no spiritual teacher, no channeler. No one knows. And anyone that says they know, be very weary. The greatest place that you can be in is not knowing anything. Literally, I know nothing. In order to allow it all to unravel and be shown to you. This is a massive evolution in human consciousness. And you came here, whether you remember this or not, you came here to be on the front lines. You came here to walk through this first before the rest of humanity walks through it. You may remember, you may not remember. You may want to be screaming and, kicking and having temper tantrums because you don't want to be on the front lines. You may be so miserable in your life that you don't care about any of what I'm saying. You just want this pain to go away. You may be wanting to be doing your purpose work and so frustrated that nothing's happening. I don't know what you're going through. I know what I'm going through. A deep, deep surrendering into what life is showing me over and over and over again, and figuring out how to allow it, how to be in it, how to let life gift me. Knowing that I'm safe to be in anything and feel anything. People don't like to hear that. It's true. Anything that I am running from, can I stop running from it? Can I start allowing life to show me what it is I need to see and feel and hear? Whether this message resonates with you or not, if you're listening to it, if you're still listening to it, live or on the replay, you are here and you are walking through a evolution in human consciousness first. I didn't write this story. I didn't create this plan, and I didn't choose for you to come in. You chose it. This doesn't take away from what you're going through, the human experience. It doesn't take away from your trauma. It doesn't take away from perhaps your lack mindset. It doesn't take away from your codependency styles. It doesn't take away from your addictions. It doesn't take away from your loneliness. And to say that it does is absolute utter bullshit, because beyond all of this, we are still in a human body. We are still in the human experience. We are still human. Our feet are on the ground. We're here to embody the spirit that we are, the God spark that we are, the essence of our light, while we navigate the human experience, which is loss and regret and disbelief and pain and anxiety and anything else that continues to arise within you that isn't bad and isn't good. It's just the human experience. There's nothing to get rid of. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to change. When you start realizing that, you start to recognize that you are walking as this empowered freaking being in human. And when you start allowing yourself to just be in whatever you're in, watching the judgments, watching the fears, watching the insecurities, watching the jealousy, watching the inadequacies, watching whatever's arising with eyes of like awe, wonder, humility. And you start looking at your human journey through the eyes of humility, humbleness. Holy shit. Everything starts to change. Everything. So just remember, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. There never has been. You chose, for whatever reason, to incarnate into the human body, and you're going through a massive evolutionary shift in human consciousness, which means that your body is shifting frequencies in order to allow the you that you think you are, your ego and personality, to start living on this planet in new ways, which means that you are going to stop living in old ways. And it's going to look different for each of us. And there is no manual. There is no handbook. No one is going to knock on your door and say, here's how to do it in a more easy way. Humans like things to be easy. We want the short, quick path, right? Show me how to get there quickly. I don't want to be in pain. I don't want to be in suffering. I don't want to be in fear. I don't want to be in uncomfortableness. Like it or not, a lot of y'all aren't going to want to hear this, but there are many, many ego deaths that happen during this evolution. You will have to stand in fears that you don't want to stand in. You're going to have to be in emotional states that you have tried to run from your whole life. Please, please, please know that this is part of the process. You aren't going to die, and you're not going to burn up, and you aren't going to dissolve. It doesn't last, whatever you're in. The ego deaths don't last. The being in the deep, deep fears don't last. The facing the things you don't want to face, they don't last. It's the greatest gift of freedom that you can give yourself is to stop running. Stop running. Allow yourself to just feel. Allow the thoughts to just be there. Pay attention to the thoughts that you really believe. Wow, I really believe this about myself. What a ride. What a ride we are on. And go have fun. Go let life show you the miracles of life. It's the tiny things that are the miracles, you guys. It's the tiny things. In whatever you're going through, whatever you're in, can you also see tiny miracles? A tiny miracle is a bird flying. A tiny miracle is the sound of a baby laughing. It's a miracle. Tiny miracle is, watching a pizza be made in the oven. Like, wait, hold on. Well, how is this pizza being made? Like, I get it, but like, what? A tiny miracle or a big miracle is realizing that if it wasn't for the sun, we wouldn't have light. Tiny miracles that I can turn on an app right now called Instagram and I can be live with 400 people. What are the tiny miracles that you can find throughout your day because those are what really matters. Really, that's what matters. And I can guarantee you, I promise you, if you start noticing the tiny little miracles, how can I find little miracles throughout my day? The leaves of a tree moving, the way a plant grows in your house. I don't know. But how many little miracles can you find throughout your day? Like, it's just mind-blowing to me that, like, how a human is created. Like, what? What? Come again? There's just so many little things that we just take for granted. It's like, wait, that's an actual miracle. Like the way trees have roots. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, that's just how, tree just has roots. And it's like, no. Do you understand like the insanity of that? Like it grows into the earth and down and down and down. And then it goes up and up and up and it's growing up. And it's like, and then think about like trees that have fruit on them. What? If you can be in awe with the things that every other person would be like, so this is what happens. A tree grows fruit and then the fruit drops and then you eat it. It's like, really? Pretty sure that's a fucking miracle. Like, where did it come from? 3 months ago, there wasn't an apple. Now there's an apple. Explain that to me. You're like, oh, okay, well, science says, ... No. I don't give a shit about science. How in the hell are there avocados on this tree all of a sudden when a year ago there wasn't? And it just pops out and just starts to grow and grow and grow, and then all of a sudden I'm eating it. Many people would say, that's just nature, it's how it works. No. I say that's a freaking miracle. Choose how you want to see the world. Choose it. Because this whole entire game, this whole entire planet is a freaking miracle. It's a miracle. The fact that you can cut your finger and then it heals, miraculous. The fact that you can have these cells in your body called cancer and they can eat up all of these, they can just start destroying your organs. And then you change your diet and you change your thoughts. You change these things and all of a sudden these cancerous cells go away. Is miraculous. The fact that your body is constantly in a state of heal. The fact we have hair. What is hair? What is hair? It's a miracle. How do you want to see life? That's God looking out at the world saying, holy shit, I'm a miracle. I'm a walking miracle. It's all about how you want to view it. Yeah, like what is hair? Explain that one to me. Serious. We have been so deeply programmed to not be in awe of this planet. And that's God. If you are coming back into a state of embodiment of absolute God consciousness, you will recognize that you've been duped since the moment you kind of opened your eyes in this world. You've been programmed to look at everything from this scientific lens, that it just is what it is, it's how it works, and this is what happens, and you get desensitized to the absolute miracle that you and I are. By the way, the other miraculous thing that we all know, perhaps, that to me is mind-blowing again. People are probably like, Lori, this is so boring, you've lost your mind. I don't care. You and I are the same consciousness. Like, your consciousness that's in your body is the same consciousness that's in my body. That's the same consciousness that's in that tree out there, and in that bird, and in that bee. Yes, you can say, oh yeah, Lori, we're all one. No. Think about that for a minute. Sit with that for a minute. Let that sink in. You know, there's all these phrases that we throw out in the world, like, oh, you're spirit, you're just a spirit having a human experience. You know, I was saying this the other day on my Patreon. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just a spirit having a human experience. Next. It's like, shut the fuck up for a second. Do you understand what that means? Are you experiencing this absolute what? What do you mean I'm a spirit in having a physical experience? Like, everything is in our mind. We just think, and then we're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, I completely believe that. Oh yeah, we're all one. Oh yeah, we're all together in this unified field. Oh yes, I'm spirit having a physical experience, and I am, you know, off I go. It's like, what? What? If we really sat with the profoundness you wouldn't really be able to say anything. You know? And the one that thinks this experience sucks, right? Is just as beautiful as you know, the one that's thinking about all the things we're saying right now. The human experience is not just love and light and all, you know, all of these beautiful experiences. It's also, there's a lot of uncomfortableness. There's a lot of wanting to get out of the human experience, wanting to exit stage left, right? Pain is intense. Emotions are intense. Thoughts are intense. Behaviors are intense. We're all in this together, and we all go through, you know, we're all going to watch ourselves have, you know, good days and bad days. All I can say is this human experience goes by in a blink of an eye. You'll be out of it one day, sooner than you actually realize. And how often throughout our day, and when you're in deep pain, this is really, hi Braun, when you're in pain, you know, it's very difficult to, you know, kind of wrap your head around, you'll eventually be out of this human experience, and how can you really devour it? Because when you're in pain and suffering, when you're in heartache, when you're in grief, you're just trying to survive. When you're really in deep thoughts that are controlling you, or really intense emotions that are grabbing you, it's really hard to find little miracles in life, or recognize that this too will pass, or, you know, remember that this life is a gift, and it passes in a blink of an eye, but it's all true as well. So it's about really having compassion for whatever part of the human journey you're in, and realizing that there's heaven and there's hell at the same moment. There's beauty and darkness in the same moment. There is grief and there is joy in the same moment. And it's not really up to you to try to navigate and control where your ship is going, or where your car is going. Oh, I don't want to feel grief. I only want to feel joy. I don't want to feel this trauma. I only want to feel peace. It's like, you're not in control. You're truly, the ego personality is not. And life isn't out to get you. It isn't. I don't believe that. I don't believe that life is out to get us. I don't believe that life is about suffering. That doesn't mean that there are not many places in this world where humans aren't in deep, deep states of suffering. I just don't believe that we are designed to remain in suffering. I don't know how we get out of it all as one human collective, but I guess we'll see. So, anywho, that's that. That is that, my friends. I guess that's all I have right now. It's so funny. This morning I woke up and I have my Align class, Align 3.0, starting on Wednesday. And I don't like selling things. I don't like marketing myself. I don't like marketing things. I just don't. It's just never really been part of what resonates with me. And I just really didn't feel like showing up today on Instagram or social media. I just didn't really feel like showing up. And what I always do with everything that I experience is that I just observe it. And I don't resist it. Resisting, God, Lori, you don't feel like talking about your Align 3.0 class, which is 21 days of sitting together every day in awareness and observing and stillness. You don't feel like talking about it. And instead of me trying to force myself, no, Lori, you need to advertise it. You need to talk about it. You need to do something and put a post up, right? That's resisting, right? And even that's okay. It's okay. Just being aware of that. But just allowing myself to be in it. Just allowing myself to not feel like showing up. Allowing myself to feel like, oh, I should be advertising, but I'm not. Just allowing it all. Like, what else is arising? What else is showing up? When we start doing that, what you'll notice is there's this movement that happens. It's like you're in a river. And what you thought was going to unravel doesn't unravel. Meaning, I didn't know I was going to go on Instagram Live and talk for an hour about God knows what. Evolution, consciousness. I didn't know that. I didn't say to myself as I was sitting there thinking, I really don't feel like showing up. Well, Lori, pull up your bootstraps and go on an Instagram Live and force yourself through it. I don't believe in that. When you let go of trying to force yourself through life and do what you think you need to do or you should do, this is not a good mindset. Kind of like, there's people out there that are super successful and they're like, oh my God, you got to have this mindset and you got to go and make life the way you want it. I don't believe that. I don't live that way. I don't do life that way. I just don't. And life is very free to me. It's very open. It's very receptive. I'm very safe in this world, and I know that I'm taken care of. But if I didn't trust in the unknown, I would be in much more of a controlled state. And then I would be showing up, forcing myself to show up, and I refuse to do that. I refuse to do things that are not in my highest aligned state. I just won't. I won't do things that are not in an aligned state. And so when you start living in that way, you don't know what's coming next. All you know is what's showing up right here, right now, in the aligned state. So for me, it was, I don't feel like showing up. I don't feel like talking about my class. I don't feel like marketing. I don't feel like I don't feel like any of that. And in my highest aligned state, that was the truest truth. And allowing that to be the truest truth and not forcing myself out of it, pushing myself through it, or trying to change it. Because I didn't know what was coming next. And guess what came next? I did a video and I showed up live. I didn't talk about my class. Who cares? I didn't know that was coming. An aligned state is when you are being you. You're just allowing you to be you. You're allowing it to be okay. Whatever it is. An unaligned state is forcing yourself to do things. An unaligned state is trying to push yourself into something that you're not feeling. What happens is that what a lot of coaches talk about is, well, if you do force yourself into it, you will start to move into an aligned state. Maybe, maybe not. It's possible. If I force myself to get up and exercise, will I feel better? Yeah. If I stay in the I don't want to exercise, will I feel better? I don't know. I come from the mindset of none of it matters. Just be in what is. It's all going to change. There's no judgment around it. But a lot of people, millions upon hundreds of millions, live in a controlled state where they change their mindset, which works. It's not the highest aligned state. It's not in flow. It just isn't. It's not in flow. A flow state is allowing whatever it is to be until the next thing happens, and then the next thing happens, and then the next thing happens. Doesn't mean it's, there is no right or wrong state. I'm just stating, what the flow state is. If you have a goal, I want to lose weight, right? Or I want to get my body to look a certain way, or, I want to make a certain amount of money this year, or whatever it is. You have a goal, right? Then yeah, you're going to have to probably pull yourself out of the flow state. Flow state doesn't have goals. The ego and personality has goals. The flow state is your natural state, which doesn't give a shit. It's like the honey badger. It doesn't give a shit. It's just allowing what is, and then allowing what is, and then allowing what is. And the human doesn't like that. The ego personality doesn't like that. The ego personality has goals, and it's going to push itself to those goals. No goals in flow. Because it trusts the river. It trusts life. It knows that, hey Joey, it knows that the river's going to take it and show it what's next. There's nothing wrong with goals. I sort of set goals, but I don't think I really do actually. I kind of set goals and then I just let them go because I'm like, whatever happens, happens. But I don't think most of humanity is there yet. I don't, and that's okay. We can create an amazing, beautiful life by goals and by reframing your mindset and all that. It's beautiful. But I can promise you in this evolution in consciousness that we will stop doing that. And until then, we'll just keep setting goals and pulling ourselves out of flow and trying to figure out if this is aligned or not aligned. It's all beautiful. It's all part of the human experience. Yeah, there's a bed brand called Avocado. Pretty sure that's the name of the brand, the bed. It's non-toxic. It's a mattress company called Avocado. I think it's pretty expensive though. But take a look. Somebody just asked a non-toxic bed company. So I was just answering that. Yeah, check out Avocado. I'm pretty sure it's very expensive, but I also don't know, I think regular mattresses are pretty expensive as well. Yeah, they have actual physical stores, and then I think we have a store here in Corte Madera, Avocado. But it's a non-toxic bed mattress. It's expensive. Yeah, it is expensive. Unfortunately, anything that's keeps us out of toxicity is expensive right now. Oh yeah, mattresses are super toxic. Yeah, they're made of toxic materials. Yeah. But, everything's toxic in some sense. Many things are. But, Avocado. What about 5G? That's very toxic. God bless the human experience and the human that's living in 5G. It's why the sun's so important. Yeah, your thoughts, of course your thoughts matter. If you are allowing specific thoughts to foam, sweet foam, used to make natural foam mattresses. Thanks, Miley. Foam, sweet foam. Your thoughts completely matter in the sense that if you are grabbing certain thoughts to create your reality, you better be aware of that. That's the importance of. Thank you, Danny, Chris, Rich, for the the badge. Be aware of thought. What are the stories that you're holding as your truth? At the end of the day, do I think thoughts matter? No, I don't. I think that we can be in a state of observing thought and still being in this. But if we want to let our thoughts control our reality, then yeah, you want to be aware of what thoughts you're holding and what thoughts you're grabbing. And just choose different thoughts. But in an actual true state of just flow and beingness, you'll be aware, you'll start to realize that there isn't any thoughts you're grabbing to create your reality. You're just in a state of beingness. I swear to God. You're just in light. You're flowing in life. You're aware of thought. You're aware of emotions. You're aware of what's occurring, but you're not grabbing any thought. So thought doesn't matter. Thought only matters when you're grabbing it and making it a reality. But does thought create your reality? Yes, of course it does. Does your vibration create your reality? Yeah, of course it does. But when you're in a deeper state of beingness, awareness, I swear to you, I can only say this because I've been experiencing it, then I swear to you there's no thought controlling anything. You're not even aware of thought. Thought's just coming and going and weaving in and out, just like the air comes and goes and weaves in and out, and it's like this, it's crazy. And then intense thoughts will come in and grab you, and then they become then you're focused on them and you're making it your reality. You're making stories around them, and they're true. And these thoughts are true. It's empty. I swear to God, it's empty. It's the weirdest thing. The more you allow your thoughts to get really, really loud, the more you get comfortable with thought, the more you just let thought be, the more the thoughts dissolve. You can't force thought to dissolve. You can't force thoughts to go away. Thoughts are they're always going to be part of the human experience. We have to make friends with them. Here's a test if you want to see, if you really want to see, if thoughts are controlling your world, right? Sit in stillness. So sit quietly. Just sit in with your breath. Practice just sitting with yourself. I don't think you master emotions. What does that even mean, to master emotions? I think that you allow emotion to move through you. But anyway, go back to thought. Sit in presence and tell me if a thought's controlling you. How are you being? How is it possible for you to be in presence without thought controlling you? What's creating your reality and presence? And the more present you become, the more still you become, without trying to get rid of thought, somehow you are existing and thought's not creating your existence. Explain that one. Thought's not creating your reality as you're sitting there. What is that state of being? And what happens to many of us when we sit in presence, or we start practicing presence, we start practicing in, stillness, or even meditation, okay? The thoughts are loud. They're so loud and distracting that you try to quiet them. The key is to just let them be. Let them get loud. Let them get even louder. Let them drive you crazy like little gnats. And then watch what happens. somehow you start existing and thoughts aren't controlling you. Somehow your world is going, every moment is happening and thoughts not actually controlling it. So what's actually happening? That's the deeper question you want to ask yourself. You want to ask yourself, hey Jason, yeah, let's go live later. You want to ask yourself, all right, if thoughts are creating my reality and I'm in a deep state of presence as often as I can be, or I'm in stillness throughout my day, and there are no thoughts that are pulling me or controlling me, then what's creating my reality? Deep, deep programming that we live in, that we have to control our thoughts. Any state of control is a program. Any moment in your life where you are in a state of controlling something, it's programming, which is fine. It's just not your natural state. The more you can be in beingness and stillness, observing. The power of life is lifing you. Thoughts aren't lifing you, whatever that means. Thoughts are not life. But sure, if you want to play in the world and be part of the game, change your thoughts, create new thoughts, make those thoughts a reality, and it'll create your reality. It's absolutely true. I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy. I'm successful, I'm successful, I'm successful, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, right? Those all are thoughts that you grab and you force into a reality, and hopefully that reality manifests. But what's beyond that? In absolute stillness and beingness and presence. No thought. So then what's creating your reality? Oh. Okay. The unconscious thoughts create your reality. The more that you practice stillness and presence, there are no unconscious thoughts. That's why presence and stillness and practicing awareness and practicing meditation is so important, because it will pull all unconscious thought into consciousness. Most of us are living our lives in unconscious, subconscious realities and based on unconscious, subconscious thoughts. We don't even realize we're having them. The more that you can sit in stillness, quiet, doing nothing, allowing the thoughts to get louder and louder and louder, not quieting your thoughts, the subconscious thoughts will come up. The unconscious thoughts will come up. Most of us don't want to sit and do that. We go crazy. We don't want to hear all the thoughts. It's very uncomfortable. And so we will meditate ourselves into a state where we quiet our thoughts. Worst thing you could possibly do. Worst thing you could do is try to quiet your thoughts. Don't quiet your thoughts. If you can sit, it's totally exhausting, but that's freedom. Then you break free from thought. So if you can sit and let your thoughts drive you fucking nuts and bonkers over and over and over and over and over again, the subconscious and unconscious thoughts arise. You start realizing how you've been living. You start realizing how you've been being. You start realizing what you've been doing. You start realizing what thoughts are absolutely, unequivocally driving your life. And the more you sit with them, the more that you allow them, the more that you observe them, guess what happens? They dissolve. They stop becoming these gnats that are driving you crazy. And then you really find the magic in life. I'm only saying this because I've experienced it. I experience it. I'm not saying this because I read it somewhere. Okay. That's it. That's all she wrote. I love you guys. I think this was a long live. I don't know what time I got on, but anyway, I'll save this. I'll put it on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to practice with me, I'm doing a class, Align 3.0. We sit together for 21 days. It starts Wednesday the 19th. And we practice this, what I'm talking about, breaking free, not getting rid of anything, not fixing or changing anything. Sitting in stillness, being the observer, being the watcher, being awareness. It's life-changing. Anyways, it starts Wednesday the 19th. I'll leave the link down below. Actually, it's in my bio. If you're watching this on Instagram. Facebook, it'll be down below. YouTube, down below. Join us. Align 3.0. So much fun. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. And yeah, Kadam, you should join us. Join us. Is this Align the same as your other Aligns? This is the same structure, but it's going to be a little different. We're going to be practicing differently. And yeah, it's going to be a different structure. It's going to be a different format. So definitely join. If you've already joined Align and Align 2.0, join Align 3.0. It's going to be a tad bit different. And if you haven't joined any of them, join us, you guys. It's life-changing. I'm serious. It's the most simple and yet profound thing that's changed my life. It starts Wednesday the 19th. Wednesdays, it's every day for 21 days, starting on the 19th at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. California time, but the replays are available. And we're doing 3 live Q&As as well. One at 8 o'clock California time, one at 12 o'clock, and one at 3. It's $59 for the 29 days, or 21 days. 21 days. It is virtual. It's on Zoom. And so you have unlimited, or you have lifetime access to the class, to the replay. There's also a private forum that we have for everyone that's joined. It's anyone that's joined Align, the first one, anyone that's joined Align 2.0, and anyone that joins Align 3.0, they're all in the same forum. There's thousands of people all over the world that are in this private forum. So you can talk to other people and hear their experiences. And but basically it's just me and you and the rest of whoever's joins, practicing how to sit in our beingness and awareness and stillness, and realizing that we don't actually have to run away from our life. Like we can find joy, we can find peace, we can find stillness, we can find calm in any moment of our life. We actually don't need to change our thoughts or change our emotions or change anything to be in our natural state. And it's a miracle. It's just a miracle. And it's simple. Very, very simple. So, anywho, I love you guys. Yeah, join us. You can sign up right now. The link is in my bio here on Instagram. It's called Align 3.0. Or message me. $3 a class. That's right. It's $3 a class. That's like a latte. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.